Good evening, Radford fans, and here at the start of season 4, episode 1, here on Sports Talk with Rags. Here we are honored here to have the head baseball coach of Radford, Alex Guerra. AG, how you doing this evening?
Doing great, buddy. It's good to
Hey,
see you again.
hey, good seeing you, and I appreciate your time for coming on. And here it is, February 1st, regular season right around the corner.
Yeah, we're excited. We've had a really good start so far to the preseason. Um, Guys have come back. They look really sharp, and we look really clean in all three aspects of the game. Base running, pitching, defense. We're just really like the way the guys are playing right now. Offensively, we're swinging the bats really, really well, and just excited to get going.
Yeah, and out there in Radford, has the weather cooperated?
Yeah,
Practice some outside here the last few days, or maybe the last week and a half.
we've been really lucky. We've been really lucky with the weather. It is so hit or miss here this time of the year. It's literally a coin flip.
Right.
And we've our first day inter squad, it was like 63 degrees.
Wow.
So we've been on the field pretty much every single day, with the exception of the first few days of individuals. That first week we did some live at bats inside, but ever since then we've been able to get outside and be able to run around and um, be able to really get after it, and that helps a lot. It really does. I mean, some of these Northeast teams that they don't get out onto the field until their first game.
Right.
I remember when I was a player, one year we were out every single day, and then the next year, I think our first day on the field was like that Thursday night before College of Charleston.
Oh wow.
And so it's really a coin flip. Knock on wood, we've been really fortunate to be able to get out and be able to play and get a bunch of inter squads in. So
Yeah, and also with not only the season right around the corner, but 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tonight, you're probably pulling up into a hotel in Atlanta and getting ready to start with opening season series against Georgia Tech.
yeah, excited to be able to go down there, play Georgia Tech. They've got obviously a beautiful facility, and they're going to be really good. They're going to be they're historically just one of the best programs in the country, and they've got a coach there, Coach Hall. He's a legend who's been coaching for 40 years, something like that. I mean, he's got thousands and thousands of wins, and that program's produced tremendous amount of big leaguers and really good players. So we're excited about the challenge. Really like our team, really coming along together, really nice. So I know these guys are going to be ready to go.
Yes, and then and then when you guys get back from that, no midweek games, but then open up there with your home schedule against Lemoyne.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is their first year back as a Division I school. In the past, I believe they used to be Division I school. They were independent. Actually, the old coach, or the coach at Rutgers currently, he used to be the head coach at Lemoyne back in I believe, like the early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
But they're another really good program. They've had a lot of success at the D2 level. In the last decade or so, since they've gone down, and now they're going back up to Division I. So they're going to be excited. It's going to be their opening weekend. I expect that we're going to get their best effort, obviously, and we're going to have to come ready to play. But anytime you have the opportunity to play at home as much as possible, it's always a good thing. So hopefully we'll be coming off of a good weekend of playing really well, and be able to get some momentum early on in the season.
Yeah, and then the first midweek game is something that's definitely annual on the schedule between both programs. When you guys host Virginia Tech, and then later on the season go across town to go to Blacksburg.
Yeah, it's really unique for us to be able to have two Division I schools within whatever it is, a 25, 30-minute radius. And obviously we have a lot of respect for that program and their coaching staff, and Coach Chef. he does a great job. And Kurt and Coach Fecto, those guys, they've done really well since they've gotten there, recruited really well. They got good players, and always excited about the challenge and enjoy the relationship that we have with those guys. And I think it creates a lot of excitement about baseball in this area.
Right.
When you have two schools and two staffs that have a lot of respect for each other that can do that, it's always a great thing for the community and for both teams and their student athletes. So we're excited. Anytime you can host an ACC opponent, at your home field, it's always an awesome thing. So
yeah, and then that second home weekend series, I mean, it was Long Island, still is, but a little bit more excitement here with Radford alum there being named to the coaching staff there with Stratton, so that'll be fun with him coming back.
Yeah, Stratton's obviously had a tremendous career here. And Stratton and I are from the same hometown, but we're from the same area,
right.
Up in Long Island. And
yeah,
he was actually the last kid that I got on a visit when I was an assistant here.
Okay.
Before I went to JMU.
Right.
So we've, ever since I've gotten the job here, over the last year or so, him and I have reconnected and we've kept in touch. And I'm just really excited for him.
Yeah.
Just had a really good career for, I believe he played 4 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure, but he's a great kid, man, and he's going to be a hell of a coach. And they're really lucky to get him for sure. And I'm excited, and I look forward to seeing him for sure.
Yeah, and then going back on the road here, they're in March. I mean, back down to Georgia and Georgia Southern. They're in the Sun Belt. They definitely have a good baseball program.
Got a great baseball program. The team hosted a regional 2 years ago. Constantly at the top of the league in the Sun Belt, which is arguably one of the top 5 leagues in the entire country. It's going to be a hostile environment. Our pitching coach, Christian Bourne, he was down there when they went to a regional.
Okay.
So he talks about Georgia Southern a lot and the experience he had there, and it's going to be a really good weekend. Excited to get down there and be able to experience what they're all about and play a really good team.
Yeah. Yes, and like we just talked about being close to Virginia Tech, it's nice to have an ACC school come over to Radford, but also this year I see on the schedule for a 2-game midweek series, Notre Dame coming to town.
Yeah, it was a unique opportunity. Coach Stifler and I are very close.
Right.
He used to be the head coach at VCU. So we've had a relationship for the last decade, ever since we've both been in the state.
Right.
And they were playing Virginia Tech that weekend, and they have a tough time, and they're in like a weird location, so it's hard for them, I think, sometimes to get midweek games. So a lot of times when he's traveling, whatever weekend series he's going to, that week before, he'll try to find some games, and relatively close to that weekend series he's playing. So we're fortunate enough to be able to host Notre Dame for 2 games. They're going to be really well coached. They're going to be prepared. But again, another opportunity for our guys to play a really good program, really good team at home, and another great opportunity for our community and all of our fans to come out and watch us play.
Right. And then you guys host Marist, then midweek at VMI, and then the first conference weekend, it is at home, but South Carolina upstate. So, the reading on the Big South website, the preseason favorite, and that's who you guys open up with.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge right from the get-go. And I think overall our entire schedule is a challenge. But leading up and going as we start Big South play, I mean, they're the preseason favorite, overwhelming favorite. They've got a really good team. they've got some really good players coming back, especially on the offensive side. They're very well coached. They play very hard. They play with a lot of athleticism. They do a lot of different things offensively to beat you. They're a handful for sure. But our guys are going to be prepared, and we're excited for the challenge. And I think that's one thing about our schedule, or it doesn't matter who we play. I mean, we're not going to back down from anybody. That's something that has been instilled in this program from day one. And I believe in our guys, and I'm excited about watching them go out there and compete. And as we start, especially Big South play, I believe that this team, the sky's the limit. Really like the way everything has kind of come together so far. So, at this point, I'm ready for them. I think everybody's kind of getting itchy and ready to go play somebody else with a different color jersey on for sure.
Yes, and then also see their nearing the end of March and beginning of April there in the midweek. JMU comes down one night, and then a couple weeks later, you guys go up there. But definitely a great midweek series there with you guys and James Madison, especially between both coaching staffs.
Yeah, for sure. It's another cool situation with me being there for 7 years.
Right.
Christian, our pitching coach, he was there as a player for 4. Harrisonburg and JMU, it's a special place. It's a special time in my life. I'll always cherish that, that time period. And, working with Ike and working for Ike, and he's a special dude. So obviously I love him. And, but when we get on the field, it's just about our guys playing against each other, and, they're going to be prepared. They're going to play hard. They're going to be talented. And, so it's always a good thing when you have the opportunity to play teams that, that they're well coached, you respect their staffs and the way they go about their business. It's just another team on our schedule. That's kind of the same thing,
Right. And then, they're in March and April, you guys do have midweek games, before the weekend series, but then nearing the end of April, and definitely when May comes, it's the stretch run, and it's full conference here with Gardner Webb, and then when May comes, at Winthrop, at Charleston Southern, and then close out the regular season home against Longwood.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. We're going to be going on the road, I think, 3 out of the last 4 weekends. And look, our league is, I believe it's a very talented league. I think there's a lot of parity in it. I think there's a lot of new faces, I think, in the league on rosters. And I think that's the way it is today, in today's day and age, with the transfer portal. And there's much more turnover than there is in the past. But, just everybody on our schedule is going to be good. Everybody's talented. It's about what you do when you show up. Are you prepared? Are you ready to play? And we'll see what happens. But I know our guys are excited.
Yes, and I know that Radford athletic program, Radford 48, they're, doing some fundraising there from February 6th through February the 8th, and saw just a bullet there under the baseball tab. Just talked about how this year's recruiting class was ranked in the top 100 in the country and first in the Big South. So definitely some exciting times here for your second year at the helm.
Yeah, for sure. We were able to get a head start on the 24 class when we got here. Really proud of our staff, Coach Lancaster, Coach Funk, Coach Bourne, Corey Singh, all those guys. They did a great job of identifying the right types of players for this program, getting guys on campus, constantly on the road, on the phone. And, they're still doing that as we speak now, right? But they did a great job of identifying the right type of kid. And it was an important class. The 23 class, 24 class, it was a really important group of kids for us, because it was about laying down the foundation for what we wanted going forward. And speaking on the guys that we currently have on campus, we had 30 guys come in this past year. And I'll tell you what, man, like we were sometimes when you bring in 15 transfers,
Right.
Sometimes it can be hit or miss. And I'll tell you what, man, these kids we got really lucky because not only are they the right fit, but they're really talented. And we've got a great group of freshmen that are on campus right now. I would argue probably the best group of freshman pitchers that I've ever been around in my career coaching. So kudos to our staff. Those guys work really, really hard on the phone, constantly evaluating, constantly talking to coaches, just digging deep to find the right fit for this program. Because there's a lot of talented players out there, whether it be the portal, whether it be high school. But I think ultimately what separates a lot of programs, especially at the mid-major level, is finding the right fit. You've got to identify the way you want to play, both offensively and defensively. And then you've got to find the right type of personality that's going to fit in with your coaching staff. And I think our guys have done a really, really good job of that. And I think it just kind of bleeds over into the 24 and 25 class that we're at right now. So I really feel good about the foundation and the future of this program and the people that we have coming in here and, the kids and their families. So excited about it, man. It's an exciting time for this program for sure. And I really, truly believe we're on an upward trend and the sky's the limit for this place.
Yes, and you did play there at Radford, but then also with, getting your assistant coaching experience, you were definitely part of the staff there. 2015, 45-16, won a regular season title, won a tournament title, and made it to the regional final there in Vanderbilt.
That was a special year.
Yeah.
It was a special year. And it's funny because there's certain years I think that are almost like a blur.
Right.
Like it's the last few years, like with COVID, Christian and I talk about all the time. Anytime we talk about JMU, we're like, what year was that? Was that 19? Was that 20, 21? Like, it's almost like those 3 years were just kind of blended together and you forget certain things. But that 2015 season, man, I remember that year like at the back of my hand. So many different little moments, whether it be, and for the alums and whoever listening to this thing, like whether it be the meeting that we had in the Campbell weight room with the position players, whether it be like the team meeting we had after when we started out, like I think it was like 8-8 or like we started out the first 10, 15 games like at 500. And then all of a sudden, like poof, we won like 17, 18 in a row. We lost one game and then we won another like 15 in a row. It was a really special year. And that was a culmination of so many years of laying down the groundwork, Coach Akuya and the assistant coaches that were here before, just doing a great job of recruiting and evaluating and identifying the right players. And, for it to culminate into that and having the opportunity to be on that staff was special. And it was really cool as a player because we were there in the beginning. We were there when the dugouts were those cement spiral stairs and you couldn't fit anybody in there. We were there when we didn't have lights. We had a chain link fence. When we had an indoor facility that the old Burlington coat factory across the street that leaked from the ceiling. Like we didn't have all the stuff that we have now. And to see where the program was when we first got here to where it is now, and especially in 15, and for it to culminate into that type of season, it was honestly it was magical and it was special. And that was a really, really tough, competitive, close-knit group of guys that really, really developed, and they had really strong personalities. But man, they loved each other and they were winners. And 45 wins is a lot of wins. You got to bring it every day, man, like every single day. And but once you get momentum with the right formula of players, you have something special happen. And it's hard to really describe it. I mean, I don't really think I'd be lying to you if I sat here and I said, yeah, like going into that year, like we're going to win 40 plus games, or we're going to win the regular season. Like it wasn't the case. It was just a lot of really experienced, tough players in 14 that set the school record, and they're all coming back. They were all juniors and seniors, and we had some important guys like step up and have huge years for us. And they're clutch, man. It was a fun year. It was a really fun year.
Yeah, I mean, and just to look at the conference record, I mean, you usually have 8 conference weekend 3-game series, and to win 20 out of 24 games.
The funny thing too about that was you had us that year. You won the regular season. You had Coastal, who was an at-large in the Texas A&M regional,
right.
And then they won the national championship that next year,
right.
With similar to us, kind of in 14, right? Like that's kind of the way they were. They won, they did well, and then all of a sudden they had that group that came back, and then they had that ridiculous magical year, right? But then you had Winthrop. They won like 42 games. High Point won, I think it was like 38 games. Longwood had a kid on Friday night that could beat anybody in the league. Gosh, who else was – I'm trying to think who else that year.
Campbell was in
Campbell, I don't believe was in – yes, they were. I'm sorry. They were. Yeah. They were. They were in that league. They were in the league that year. Year before, they were really good. That next year, I think they were just okay. But it was a really competitive league. I mean, the top 5 or 6 teams, I think, won 30 games, if I'm not mistaken, at least. So then you were getting everybody's best effort. I mean, you look back, there was a bunch of big leaguers, in that whole conference. So it was a cool year to be able to be on top because it was so competitive.
Yeah, and then also this past fall, I mean, with the baseball program having Eddie Butler go in to the Hall of Fame. I mean, I remember when Eddie Butler played across town here at Greenbrier Christian. So definitely probably also a good thing for players, there during the fall to see an alum come back and get recognized.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool for Eddie. To be the 5th big leaguer in this program's history, to make it and to have him back in the Hall of Fame, it was awesome. It was great to see him. I hadn't seen him in a long time. He had his daughter with her, his mom, his brother. It was cool. It was really cool to see him and see how much just how he's grown into a man, and just really proud of him where he's been, and the adversity he's overcome, and he's been a great representation of our program, and I'm excited to kind of have him back in the fold. I think him kind of figuring out his career and what he was doing. I know some injuries have kind of, I believe he's going to hang it up now. I think the shoulder just had too much, but I'm excited to be able to have him back, and he's texting me now about players in the area. I think he's going to stay involved in baseball. So. Obviously Eddie's contributions to this program are, you can't even put into words, right? He's just a tremendous pitcher. And, for him to make it to the big leagues, I mean, it's a hard thing to do. And for him to be able to do that, represent Radford is a great thing. And I know everybody around here is really proud of him.
Yes. And, we've talked about your season getting ready to start here in a couple of weeks, but that also we also know that big leaguers and minor leaguers getting ready for spring training, and just the year that Spencer had last year. I mean, 24 should be a great year for him.
Yeah, Spencer's going to be in a really good situation up there. In Toronto, I hope he makes that team. He deserves to. He can really hit. I think he's one of those players that the more at bats he gets in the big leagues, the more he's going to prove that he's a special hitter. And just again, just it's really cool to be able to see guys that you had the opportunity to. I never had the opportunity to coach him, but just recruit him. Coach Kuya, he did a great job recruiting him as well, and at a time where, like in high school, he didn't really have a position. But Joe was really all in on him offensively, and had got him on campus, and obviously his career speaks for itself. But the other thing about Spencer too is like the things he did here at Radford. I mean, he only did it in 3 years. Right. So I believe if he came back another year, in fact, Coach and I were talking about it, a couple months ago. Like if he came back a 4th year, he probably would have broke every hitting record there was here, next to Alex Gregory. With all due respect to him, because his numbers were special, but Spencer could really, really hit, and that's what he's done his whole life.
Right.
And him being able to do it now on the professional stage and at the major league level, it's cool. It's cool. And another great representation of our program was just a tremendous kid here. Just listening to everybody around here talk about him and the way he treated people, and so we're rooting for him, we're excited for him, and we're behind him 100%.
Yes, and before we got started, I know that I had you on when you first got the job, but with you being on the road recruiting, it was an audio interview. So with the season getting ready to start, next weekend there's no games, so definitely time to have people come and see the facility with a camp here right before the season starts, right?
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to kind of have 20 or 30 kids hopefully come down and have a little pitching camp, a little hitting camp, and just opportunity for some of those kids to come down. Some we were recruiting, and other guys who just want to come down and get ready for the season. And we're fortunate enough to have the facility to do that, and a weekend in which works best with us. And so this is something different we're doing, and I'm sure it'll be a good situation for everybody.
Yeah, well, hey, I certainly appreciate your time here for coming on and talking about the team and getting the season ready to start. I know that Elizabeth and I were definitely looking forward to being down there with you guys in Atlanta here in 2
Awesome. Weeks. Well, we appreciate all your support, Rags. You're the man, and your support of all these guys. The Butlers, the Hagersons, the McPhersons, everybody in that Virginia Beach area. I know they think the world of you, and they appreciate your support, and so do we. You're always welcome here, and appreciate everything you do for just sports in general. It's a great thing. So thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. And to lead off season 4. I mean, I don't know how you determine the seasons, like a certain amount of guys, whatever it is, time of the year, whatever. I'm just
we started
episode 1 in season 4. Like that's like,
yeah.
I hope I lived up to your expectations here, buddy.
Well, thanks. I mean, we started February 1st, 2021. So
there
I
you
just
go.
do it from February to January,
nice. That's awesome.
And 30 years ago this time, I was thinking about going to Radford, when I was a high school senior. So appreciate, I know that Elizabeth and I definitely looking forward to getting back up there for some home games as well.
Absolutely. We look forward to seeing you, man.
All right.
And thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Sure, no problem. Well, hey, fans, that was Alex Guerra here, just sharing about the Radford baseball program here as 2024 season is getting ready to get started in his 2nd year at the helm. So thanks again, AG.
See you, Rags. Thanks, buddy.
Right.
See you soon, man.
All right.